Well, if you're like me and you're not quite ready to give up summer and you still want to be able to make those summery type recipes, you're gonna love this video because I'm sharing 3 recipes. We're gonna use like the end of the summer ingredients like corn. We've got some fresh pineapple, peaches. These are gonna be awesome. Of course, easy to make because I always like to share easy recipes. I think you're really gonna enjoy these. And if we haven't met before, my name is Ange, welcome, and this is a Menu Made Kitchen. Okay, so for this first recipe I'm sharing with you, this is jerk chicken with fresh pineapple salsa. So pineapples are still definitely in season right now, and usually if you go to the store, you can find one that's still juicy and has great flavor. This recipe comes together super fast. The chicken has awesome flavor. It's heavily seasoned with lots of great spices, and then that pineapple salsa over the top, it is just mouth-watering delicious. You can make it over the grill or you can do it in a pan in the house. Whatever is easier, but it'll definitely feel like summer. It's the perfect end of summer recipe. So for our Jamaican jerk chicken, we have to start by marinating the chicken, and I have 4 large chicken breasts. I just put these in between 2 plastic wraps and I pounded them out until they were about a 1/2 inch thick, just to make sure that everything cooks evenly. So I've got a large Ziploc bag here. I'm gonna add in, actually, you know what? I'm gonna throw in my marinade ingredients first. So we have 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. We're gonna do a 1/4 cup of olive oil. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. I'm also going to juice in this entire lime. Definitely want some citrusy. If you don't have limes, you can also do lemon. That was seriously super juicy. Wow. All right, and then we have to have lots of good like Jamaican, Caribbean style seasoning. So I've got 1 teaspoon of garlic powder and onion powder. I have 2 teaspoons of allspice, a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and then I have a pinch of red pepper flakes. So that is it for the marinade ingredients. I'm gonna give this a quick little smush before we add in the chicken, just to make sure it's combined a little bit. And if you want to do like chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs, you could do that, or a mixture of both if you have family that likes kind of like dark meat and white meat. The last guy in there. Okay, I'm just gonna squeeze out a little bit of the air and give it a good toss. So I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator for just 30 minutes. You can definitely let this go a couple of hours, but because we've got soy sauce in there, we don't want the chicken to get too crazy salty. But 30 minutes should be perfect. All right, I'm gonna get this in the fridge and then we're gonna start in on our pineapple salsa. Pineapples are still very much in season towards the end of summer, so if you can find a fresh one, that is the very best. And I only need about 1 cup of this, and then I'll just save the rest and my family can kind of snack on it. So I'm gonna get the pineapple cut up into kind of small chunks, and then we can move on with the rest of the steps. Okay, now that we have our pineapple mixed up, that is so good, I just tasted a little piece. We're gonna add all of this to our bowl. I'm gonna add in 1 small jalapeno. I've seeded this. I don't want it too crazy spicy. I'm also gonna add in a 1/4 cup of red onion. That looks pretty good. Also gonna do a 1/4 cup of cilantro. I'm gonna add in about 1 teaspoon of honey, just to add a little bit of sweetness. Okay, and then we need to juice some lime. I'm gonna do half of this. This is another one of those super juicy limes. I don't know why I'm holding my hand over the top. There's no seeds in there. And then I'm gonna do just a touch of salt and pepper. We'll taste it and kind of make sure if we don't need a little bit more. And that is it for the pineapple salsa. So fast. All right, all that's left to do is mix this together. I mean, get me a bag of tortilla chips. So if you want these ingredients a little more chopped up or finer, you can also add this to a food processor and kind of pulse it a few times. That'll break it up a little bit more, but I really like the look of this chunkier style. And because we're gonna be serving our chicken with rice, I think it'll just be kind of the perfect texture. So I'm gonna get this in the fridge. Our chicken still has a little bit of time left, and then we are gonna head out to the grill and get our chicken going. All right, we are ready to taste this. I know you just saw a close-up. I love the little tiny edge pieces on the chicken where it gets kind of crispy and almost like overdone. It's like the crispy cheese around the casserole. That is my favorite part of the chicken. Okay, so I cut up a little slice. We've got some rice. The chicken is cooked perfectly. It went about, I would say about 15 minutes total on the grill. I gotta eat that little end piece. I don't even know where to start because there is so much flavor and so many things going on here. Like I mentioned earlier, the allspice gives it that warmth, and then the salsa just like brightens it up. It's like the perfect marriage. I am really excited to hear if you make this and what you think, because it is just fun and unique and a great end of the summer recipe. Okay, so for our fresh peach dump cake, we have to start with the star of the show, and that's the peaches. So I've got about 2 pounds here, and all I did was I peeled them and then I sliced them pretty thin. I want to make sure that they have time to cook in the oven. So this is a great recipe to use fresh peaches, especially towards the end of the summer when peaches are still in season. So we're going to add some ingredients here to the peaches. We're going to start with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. This is packed brown sugar, and it's really packed in there. This is obviously the light brown sugar. I'm also going to do 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. We've got 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and this will just help kind of thicken the liquid once it goes in here and it bakes in the oven. We've got 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and then I'm going to juice an entire lemon. All right, so that is it for those ingredients. So I've made definitely like the dump cakes where you just add like the canned fruit and then pour the cake mix over the top and add some like butter. But when you've got fresh fruit in season, I am all about that. I definitely feel like using fresher fruit, it kind of changes the texture overall, and it just feels a little more special, you know? Okay, that looks good. I can see there's a nice little sauce down in there. I'm gonna grab my 9 by 13 inch baking dish so we can get that sprayed. All right, I've sprayed my pan here. We'll add all of the peach mixture. And I'm just gonna rinse out this bowl real quick because I don't wanna have to dirty a whole nother bowl. And we'll mix up our cake mix in here. All right, now we just wanna make sure to kind of spread this out evenly here. It already smells so delicious. It's like fall, but it's also summer because you've got these fresh peaches, but that cinnamon flavor or that cinnamon scent reminds me of fall. I'm gonna grab my bowl so we can get our cake mix mixed up. Okay, we're gonna dump in a whole box of yellow cake mix. I'm just using good old trusty Betty Crocker. And then I have 1 stick of brown butter here. So this is optional. You don't have to use brown butter. You can just melt the butter and add it in, but the brown butter adds so much awesome flavor, and it just takes a few minutes. So I just put the butter over the stove in a small saucepan on like a low heat, and you just want to bring it to like a sizzle basically, and it will continue to brown. Once it's pretty much kind of that amber color, you want to pull it off the heat. So we're going to add in this entire half stick of melted brown butter. We definitely want to get all that good nutty flavor out of there. Okay, and then all we need to do is stir this together, and it will kind of turn into like a crumble mixture. It's not like this is going to be like a cake batter. So you'll have like these little like crumbly bits of cake mix and butter. Oh man, it's going to be awesome. Okay, that is basically what you want. Just nice little kind of pea-sized crumbles in there. Okay, and all it's left to do is we're going to add our cake mix over the top of the peaches. Super easy. Really the hardest part is preparing the peaches, and that's not even hard, it's just a little bit time consuming, but well worth it. Okay, we'll spread this out so it's nice and even, but it doesn't have to be perfect, so don't sweat it. That is it. I've got my oven set at 350, and we're going to bake this about 45 to 50 minutes. The top is going to get kind of golden, and you'll start to see it bubble over the top. That's when you know that it's done. So let's get this in the oven so we can taste it. All right, I got myself a little serving. Definitely had to do some vanilla ice cream, or you could do some whipped cream. But it smells so delicious in here. All right, check that out. See if I can get that to zoom. Yum. I'm speechless. The little brown butter bits on the top, I feel like you have to do that step. It really doesn't take any extra time, but it just offers such a richer, kind of nuttier flavor. And the peaches are cooked perfectly. This is so delicious. If you still have fresh peaches in your area, you have got to get your hands on them and make this dump cake. It will be your new favorite end of the summer recipe dessert. So for our Southwest corn chowder, we got to start by cooking up our bacon. So I've got 6 slices of bacon here, and I chopped this up just to make it a little bit easier and cook faster. We'll add this into my Dutch oven. I have this set about medium heat. So this will take about 5 to 7 minutes or so. I want to make sure the bacon is good and crispy. Now that I've removed my bacon, I left about a tablespoon of bacon grease in there. That'll be my oil, and it'll just give it awesome flavor. So I've got about 3/4 cup of chopped up red onion, or you can just use a yellow onion. I actually sliced my yellow onion open and it was all gross. So red onion it is. And then we're gonna add in 1 large carrot chopped, and then I have 2 celery stalks that I diced. Okay, I'm gonna saute these veggies for just a few minutes, just to soften them. Okay, while my veggies are softening, I just wanted to show you real quick what I did with my poblano pepper. So this is definitely optional. I have made it without doing this step, but I had the time, so I wanted to kind of add that, you know, smoky flavor. So I actually put this on my grill outside. You can also do an indoor grill, or if you have a gas stove, you can put it over your gas stove, and you really just want to char the entire outside so it's nice and black like that. And this will just give it really good smoky flavor. And then I added it to a Ziploc bag, and you kind of keep it in there until it basically cools, and then it will just come apart really easily. So I'm gonna kind of chop this up, and I don't want any of the seeds in there. I mean, a few will probably get in there, but the seeds are actually pretty spicy, and I don't want the extra heat because we are gonna be adding some cayenne pepper. So I'm gonna get this chopped up, and then we'll move back over to the stove and start moving forward with the rest of our ingredients. Okay, these look pretty good, and it smells amazing in here. Okay, so I'm gonna add in my poblano pepper, and then we got some spices. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. And I really just want to toast the spices for about a minute or so to kind of release more of that flavor. And then what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to raise the heat. We'll do it like a medium high. And once this gets good and hot again, we're going to add in some wine. I'm going to add in a whole cup of dry white wine, and we're going to use this to kind of scrape up those bits off the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to cook this down until basically most of the wine has evaporated. You just kind of take your spoon and run it along the bottom, and that'll get up all of the little bacon bits and just the ingredients that have kind of like, you know, charred on the bottom. That offers soups and stews such great flavor. This is going to take a couple minutes until this wine reduces. And if you don't want to use wine, you can definitely do chicken stock and do the same method. All right, so you can kind of see there is really no liquid left, maybe a few tablespoons. So at this point, it is time to add in some potatoes. I've peeled some yellow potatoes, about 3 medium size. And then we're also going to add in 5 cups of chicken stock. There's 4 there, and then we've got 1 cup here. Before we add in the rest of the ingredients, I need to cook the potatoes. So I'm going to bring this to kind of a medium boil, and we're going to cook the potatoes about 20 minutes. All right, our potatoes are nice and tender. And something I'm gonna do, this is not on my website, but I'm actually gonna take my potato masher and I'm just gonna kind of squish a few of the potatoes to kind of create a thicker chowder type broth. We are gonna be adding some cream to this, but I thought that that would be a little something different. So you just take the potato masher and just do a light little mash. We're not going for a pureed soup here, just a little bit. And then that will kind of release a lot of the starch and give this a little thicker consistency. I think it'll be really good. Okay, I think that looks good. I'm gonna turn the heat up just a little bit and we're gonna add in 3 cups of corn. I've removed this corn off the cob. It is in season right now, so I'm gonna use as much of it as possible. But during the cooler months, usually I'll just do frozen corn if I'm craving this soup. And this is about 3 ears of corn. So at this point, we really just want to kind of lightly cook the corn for like 3 or 4 minutes. You still want the corn to have a good, crisp, juicy texture. We will be back here in just a couple minutes and then we get to finish this up. I have pulled this off the heat. This is finished cooking, but I'm gonna add, well, actually 3 more ingredients, but nothing that we have to like cook. All right, so I'm gonna add in a 1/4 cup of half and half. You can also do heavy cream. On my website, I use yogurt, Greek yogurt. So anything that really will offer like a little bit of velvetiness, some creaminess. We had a fresh thing of half and half, and I thought that that would be really good today. You could even do some coconut milk. That would work well. And then I'm also going to add in a 1/4 cup of fresh cilantro. Definitely optional. I'm going to save a little bit. Oops, man overboard. Save a little bit for the top. All right, this is ready to serve up with some bacon, and then we're going to give this a taste. Doesn't that look so good? So a couple of things. I like to serve the bacon typically on the side. I do scatter a little bit on top of the pot just so it looks like, ooh, bacon. I definitely want dinner tonight. But I also decided to grill some bread. I had some sourdough, I buttered it, and then I just put it on my outdoor grill and charred it on one side till it was nice and crispy. I thought that would be the perfect addition with this soup, and since we're using our outdoor grill still because it's warm weather, I thought, why not? And you gotta have something to dunk in your soup. Okay, let's try the soup first and then we will take a bite with bread. And you can also add cheese and sour cream to this. We usually do that, but I'm just gonna taste it as is. Okay, here we go. I mean, perfection. That corn is so crunchy, and then with the tender potatoes and the salty bacon, this soup is amazing. And what a great recipe to have at the end of the summer when you can use up corn and throw in other veggies that you like. You could throw in some peppers or just other things that you might have in your garden. You can even do some zucchini in here. All right, let's do a little dunking. Oh my gosh. Okay, you have got to make this soup. If you don't want to fuss with corn on the cob, do it frozen. It'll be even faster. You are gonna love this. Well, I hope this video gave you some inspiration to hold on to summer just a little bit longer and make these awesome recipes. And don't forget, all of the recipes can be found in the descriptions below. And if you're new here, I'd love for you to be part of my YouTube family, so make sure to subscribe. I hope you have a really blessed week, and we will see you next time.